When I start speaking, people hear my accent and often ask, "Where are you from?" A seemingly simple question, yet for me, the answer is not simple. I lived in Eastern Europe until high school, spent many years in the Middle East, and this year we are celebrating 21 years in the United States. And for that, I am deeply grateful. After I manage to answer where I'm from, people often ask the follow-up question, so where is home? Where is home touches something deeper. For a long time, I would pause. I noticed that my mind and heart were searching for experiences, some current and accessible, but many mostly unreachable. I would see myself as a little girl playing outside the house I could no longer visit. That question carried a sense of loss and longing for the past with joyful moments I could not recreate. Slowly, my relationship with the question, where is home, shifted from painful to peaceful. So let me ask you, where is home for you? You might think of your country, city, a physical place, or perhaps moments, people, and experiences. As I continued reflecting, another question began to emerge. What is home? And this question shaped my everyday experience. As a life and professional coach, I work with leaders and teams to build stronger performance and healthier relationships both at work and outside of work. And for nearly 3 decades, across many roles and conversations, I have found something surprisingly freeing. Regardless of our diverse backgrounds and roles, or the challenges we face, triggered by external events, or simply by living our lives. And no matter where we are physically in the world, there is one home that unites us all. It is where you spend every moment of your life. It is where you experience everything. It is your mind and your body. Your home is you. In this home, you have one precious life. With infinite things in life out of your control, where can you create more agency? You can shape your home. And your home, your mind and body, shape how you experience your life. As I observed what consistently led to lasting positive results in my life and in the lives of those I have been grateful to support, a simple insight became clear, one we can all act on. Living fully is not something that happens to us. Living fully is something that we create. You get to create how you live fully. And it's not about idealized experience. It's what makes one life lived fully for you. Living fully happens when you choose to live your life with honesty, ownership, movement, and engagement. Home. And this is the how home framework took shape, starting with a moment in my kitchen 11 years ago. Let me take you there. I was preparing dinner, feeling tense, and I was not really present to anything in the kitchen. And that's when Marnie called to ask about my plans to attend a conference I was invited to attend. She was a faculty member at the business education company I was just starting to study with. She was also a coach and a friend. That call would become a turning point in my life. At that phase of my life, my youngest son was 2 years old and my daughters were in elementary and middle school. Life was joyfully full and at the same time overwhelming and demanding. I was telling Marnie, pacing through all the reasons that I would not be able to attend the conference. Marnie listened and then she asked, "Olga, what do you want?" It's an expensive conference registration and that trip. I'm not sure how much I can personally invest in this. You know, money is tight right now. Olga, what do you want? Even beyond the money, the logistics are impossible. My husband travels basically every week for work. I'm the one who stays with the kids. I cannot leave the house for 6 days. It's just not possible for me right now. Olga, what do you want? This time, the question woke me up. I realized I had not answered it at all. I had been swimming in reasons and assumptions, never once voicing what I wanted. Why was it so hard to answer that question? I still remember when I finally said, I want to go to the conference. In my case, conference was something that I truly wanted, and it took me several questions to even name it. What might be something that you want, but haven't named it yet? As I observe working with leaders and teams, these patterns became clear to me. We spend so much energy dwelling on what's not working, on obstacles and limitations, that we may never articulate what we truly want, even when we think we do. When we are stressed, tired, and overwhelmed, we reach for the easiest language we have, and that makes sense. In my hundreds of hours coaching, I often hear, I just want better work-life balance. Raise your hand if you have ever wanted, felt, or said that you want better work-life balance. If this resonates, you are not alone. And yet, at the end of most days, when we collapse into bed, we still feel like we haven't figured this balance out. We are constantly seeking, constantly chasing, constantly dissatisfied. What I observed, when we feel stuck, the wall is in our own mind. Here is why. All things are created twice. First in our mind, then in reality. When we say we want work-life balance, what does our mind actually understand? The phrase is vague. When I coach people and I hear they say they want work-life balance, I often ask, what does this balance mean to you? What do you really want? And it may take several questions for them to answer, yet when the answer surfaces, it's rarely about the quantity of time. It's all about the quality of their relationships, their well-being, their energy, their career, even how they experience work. Now contrast this vague and distant, I want work-life balance, with something specific. For example, I want to feel focused and grounded throughout the week. I'm going to take this workout class now. Or, I want to build stronger connection with my kids so when they leave the house in the next few years, we remain close. You move from unclear intention to clear goals and specific actions. You show up powerfully for yourself and with others. And me, I attended the conference, and it was incredible. But the real transformation did not start with that event. It started in my kitchen. I wasn't just solving logistics so I could attend. I was reconnecting with the agency of my mind, taking care of my body, reconnecting with my home through honesty, ownership, movement, engagement. Home. What if you believed that the best days of your life are ahead of you? Home makes that possible. H, honesty. We can only act on what we can articulate. I dared to name what was important to me in that phase of my life, going to the conference. What's important to you for your well-being, your career, your relationships? Give yourself permission to name honestly and specifically what's in your heart, what's in your mind. O, ownership. Accept reality and remember that you get to choose how you show up. And sometimes it may be a moment-by-moment decision. I shifted from assumptions for being unable to attend the conference to recognizing my responsibility for my growth. And that included articulating what matters to me calmly. When you name what you want, you may hear a voice listing all the reasons why not. Ownership about committing yourself to noticing possibilities around you, and also accepting yourself as an imperfect human being, a beautiful one, doing your best. Where might you take more ownership? Focus on power of your mind, take care of your body. M, movement. Movement helps us step toward our goals. As my husband supported the idea of me attending the conference and he would take care of the kids, we realized he was scheduled to be away that same week. I could have shut down, but instead I asked, how might we find a way that we can both go, each on our own trip? That question kept me moving. We often don't act because what we want feels like a mountain. So we stand at the bottom, staring at the summit. But mountains aren't climbed in a single leap. They're climbed step by step. And when you take the next step and look around, the view is already different. So what is your next simple step? Maybe it's laying out your walking shoes and clothes the night before your workout. Maybe writing down what truly matters to you to get out of the conversation you have been postponing. Maybe inviting a colleague for a coffee simply to get to know them better. Not one day, today. Make today your day. That's the discipline of movement. And finally, E, engagement. Engagement is about asking for help, receiving help, and offering help. As my husband and I realized we planned to be away for almost a week, we started exploring options what might work for our family. We ended up with a somewhat creative solution to invite my mother-in-law to come be with the kids coming from overseas. Whatever you want, you do not have to do this alone. Many people around you care and would gladly be bothered if you only give yourself permission to ask, not demand. Invite a conversation, share what's important to you. And remember, there are human beings on the other side of your texts, calls, daily interactions, imperfect as we all are, doing their best. So who might be that person or community that you can engage with? And how might you offer your support? Because engagement goes both ways. When we reclaim our home through honesty, ownership, movement, and engagement, we strengthen our well-being, our relationships, our career, and how we perceive work. Lead yourself. Focus your powerful mind and take care of your body. Every morning you wear an outfit. What if you added one more, an invisible one? An invisible outfit of who you choose to be, healthy, grounded, capable, confident. Name what's important to you and say it as you mean it, because what you focus on becomes your reality. So here are the keys to your new home, a broader framework to live by. Because no matter where you are, you never leave the home of your mind and body. Every thought, decision, action begins there. The quality of your home shapes the quality of your life. And how you live today shapes the future you step into. Lead yourself. Live fully. Lead your life from home. Thank you.